So, thank you all for joining me with another chat with Kat. Today, I have Alison De Groot as my guest. She is the senior event lead at Elmhirst Resort here, which is really, really close by. And I know I had the privilege of attending a WBN event there. The food was incredible, the space was amazing, the waterfront. I got to tell you, it was a beautiful location. It had been my first time there. So I'm really glad that we were able to connect today. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about you, a little bit about the resort. How did you get involved? I know you mentioned it's a fifth generation family that's running it. So tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people in Peterborough, I was out at the resort like 20 years ago and remember it. It was like a kitschy Ontario cottage resort on a fishing lake. And when I came back to the Peterborough area 5 years ago, I could not believe the change at the resort and what the family has invested and accomplished over the last 20 years in the space. So it is gone from cute cottages where people spend a week in the summer. My boss is the fifth generation Elmhirst to be in the management of the resort, Henry Elmhirst. And each generation has brought something different and added to the resort. It's now 30 modern cottages, gorgeous dining room, chef inspired farm to table menu, meeting spaces, event spaces. The wedding coordinator, one of my colleagues, is booking weddings into 2027. And so I was very fortunate. I came back to Peterborough and they had an opportunity. I spent 25 years in sales and they had a need for a salesperson to grow the corporate meetings and events. So the sort of midweek, off season, shoulder season space. And it's not hard to sell. Like you've been there.
It's absolutely stunning. The food, like I said, was incredible. We ate out by the lake with an amazing view there.
Yeah.
And just before we started, you were saying too, like you're also running wellness retreats and
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
looking for shifting that just a little bit so that people come in and they host their own retreats.
Yeah. So one of the things is with corporate meetings and events, they come, they have their own agenda. One of the other things we're really starting to branch out into, we've done a couple partnerships, is working with content creators who are at the stage now where they're ready to do in-person events. So we've put on like yoga retreat weekends because we have that expertise inside in-house with Martina Lind and Catherine Toombs. We're launching a book club weekend where we're working with Penguin Random House to bring Canadian authors in and inviting book clubs to come rent a cottage together, meet the author, have dinner with the author.
Okay.
So that's the kind of thing we're looking for, but we don't want to do all the work on the content side. So I'm constantly reaching out to folks on social media who have really great learning, really great dog trainers, leadership coaches, things like that, that are ready to take that next step and actually host an in-person event. We can provide the rooms, we can provide the meeting space, we can provide ancillary activities. If you want to have yoga in the morning, we can do that. But we really need those content providers to come and build the content out and invite their own audience to come stay at the resort.
Okay. And out of all of the things that are there, what's your favorite part of what you do there?
I think it's family reunions. I am constantly in awe of families who have been reunioning for, 20, 30 years. Some of them are new to the resort, but most of them are like, they come every 5 years to the resort. Some come every year to the resort. And there's like 100 people that come and get together. And I'm like, how is it that you can organize that many people to come?
To coordinate to all
Yeah.
come and show up at one time.
And
Okay.
then my other favorite part is the learning, like the diversity of groups that I get to host at the resort and work with at the resort, from tech companies to nonprofits and I just get this glimpse at their world and what they're doing in their business. And I just love that little tiny peek of, oh my God, you do this. We hosted Hush Blanket. And I'm like, Hush Blanket. And then I go and do a deep dive, and this is the coolest company ever. I think all of my
So what-
clients are the coolest company ever.
I love all my clients too. I will be really up, but I don't know if I've ever heard of
They do weighted blankets.
weighted blankets.
Yeah,
right?
and they're so dedicated, and they do bamboo sheets and proper sleep pillows. And they
Okay.
came and had a sales meeting, a national sales meeting at the resort, and it was like, and I'm just like, these people are so dedicated to this little cool thing that they make, and that's their whole meeting, and it's all about that. And
It's
I just thought it was fascinating.
just locked in onto
Yeah.
that purpose,
Yeah.
right? Just getting in full
Yeah.
alignment.
And we got to host a couple of years ago, we got to host the national meeting for Right to Play, which is a big international nonprofit. They hosted their national conference at our resort, and just the quality of those people that are working with kids at risk, and
Yeah.
you get to spend a weekend with them and learn about their plans for what they've accomplished in the year, what they have planned coming up, and it's just a little peek into their really meaningful work that they're doing.
So I got to ask too, because you mentioned you were away and did sales for a long time,
Yeah.
moved back to Peterborough.
Yeah, so I never lived in Peterborough. My parents retired here. Peterborough has always been home for me in the sense of this is where I came for Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter. But I graduated from journalism school in Toronto, and I immediately went off to the big city of New York. And
Oh,
I worked as a journalist for 7 years, and then got
Sarah?
I switched sides and I went into the advertising sales side. So I did that, and I worked my way up to publisher, but I worked in the magazine industry for 25 years on the sales side first, and then at the publisher level. I came back to Canada after my daughter was born. So that would have been like 2001, but I lived in Toronto, and then I was out in Alberta for a little while. And then I was going to say I retired early, but really the industry print publishing
Yeah.
fizzled out. So I did 6 years with a industry association just as their executive director. And then my parents were aging, and my sisters and brother lived here in Peterborough, and they just needed extra help.
Yep.
And so I said, I'll just come home. So I came home, and I needed to find a job, and Elmhirst was the job I found.
Elmhirst was the job, and
Yeah.
you're happy there.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Oh my
You can
gosh.
hear it in your voice.
Like you've been there.
I have.
That's where I spend my day, on the lake every day. I don't have to go to an office. I don't have to go. It's perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's joyful there. And that's what I said to them when I interviewed. I just want to work joyful. That's it.
And they're supportive of that.
Yeah, 100%. It's an amazing family, an amazing story. Actually 4 generations live on the property. Peter Elmhirst and his partner Anne are retired, but they still live on the farm side of the property. Greg and Martina and their 3 adult children live on the property. And then Henry, the oldest of Greg and Martina, he and his partner had a baby. So it's just working for family, and it feels like home when you're there on the property. So
I was talking with somebody today, and they said, when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. Feel like
really
a constant go. When you're hosting an event and just leading up to it and coordinating all of the pieces, because I know when we showed up for the WBN, there was a bar, and then there was the restaurants, and if you're doing weddings and all of that, I anticipate those days are
it's a big
busy.
team. It's a big team. There's 60 full-time employees, and then we go up a little bit in the summertime when we need waterfront staff. So that's where the students come in. But I think it's larger than people realize, and incredibly well known. The guests we have come from our regular repeat guests, come from Europe, come from the US. We're probably 40% US in the summer. European in the sort of June and September timing. We get a lot of European guests in the summer as well. It really is an anchor tourism business in Peterborough County area. Probably one of the largest tourism operators in the county.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
That is a new information for me.
And I don't think locals realize how big an economic driver the resort is for the area. Because you look at the hotels in Peterborough, but aside from the hotels, this is the only sort of resort destination in the area. There's one in Lakefield as well, but it's significant. So our capacity for there's 30 cottages, 83 bedrooms, and when we do conferences, we can do up to about 110 overnight
Really?
guests. Yeah, yeah. So it's a secret that people, I don't know if you haven't been out for a while. Here's the other really big advantage for locals is the investment they've made in the dining room. There's a formal dining room called the Hearthside Dining Room, and then there's a really casual, beautiful pub called the Wild Blue Yonder Pub. They are open 365 days a year, 3 meals a day. So
Wow.
any day you're thinking, oh, I'd love to go somewhere for lunch or breakfast or dinner, the resort is open.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize it's open year round and that we have to keep the restaurants open because we have
You have these guests. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't realize. I
But
kind
they're
of
open
thought
to
I
the
was,
public.
I thought I'm trying to, I do think we went when I was a teen around Christmas, but I know I moved back here 6 years ago. I didn't have this is new that it's open
Yeah.
all year round to
Yeah.
go out for a
Yeah.
nice dinner
Yeah. And I think
and it's
people have
not that
forgotten
far, it's not that far of a drive.
20 minutes and look what you
Right.
get for that 20-minute drive.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's stunning.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. Even like the little walkways that you can stroll from just even the parking lot into the main entrance and into that space.
And the family owns the resort and then they own a 240-acre farm attached to the resort. So when we say farm to table, they raise their own Angus beef, ducks, turkey, eggs are all produced on the farm for the
Wow.
restaurant. And there's 10 kilometers of hiking trail. And one of the new initiatives by Martina and her team in the spa, there's a full service spa at the resort as well. And one of the new initiatives is to make property and the resources at the resort available to the community. So there's new programs, there's yoga that's open to the community. You don't have to be staying at the resort to come
Okay.
to our yoga classes. You can buy a pool membership for the year to use the indoor or outdoor pool
Really?
as a member of the community. We have aqua yoga classes now. We're partnered with Water Babies. So we're doing Water Babies classes for new mothers with young babies and toddlers, their first swimming lessons.
Oh,
So all of this is trying to re-engage with the local community and say, hey, we've got this great resource. We're open every day. Here's some things you can come and do at the resort.
I think that's really needed when it comes to community connections. And it sounds like community is really important to yourself, to the family that owns it, and really giving back to the community and starting to share those resources with all of us.
Yeah. And it actually came up in a conversation when we were meeting with the Peterborough County folks who were running the initiative to bring doctors, to try to attract doctors to the county. And one of the things we said was we need to look at as a county like we're promoting wellness for our residents so that doctors feel like there's a big investment in community well-being.
Yeah.
And that sort of triggered this thought process with Martina and her team about how do we contribute to the wellness of and the health and well-being of our community. So that's where this whole initiative of launching these community programs started was how do we contribute to our neighbors and their healthy living in our own community.
In our own community.
Yeah.
And if there was one thing that you think is, you already mentioned secrets, right?
Yeah.
So we like to keep these, but is there one thing that you think that the community, anybody watching this, or sharing it with anybody else that you would want them to know about yourself or about the resort?
Oh, we are wide open to ideas. That is,
Okay.
just come to us with an idea. Like, we're at a growth stage now where we have enough resources in terms of rooms, in terms of meeting space, in terms of restaurant capability. We're wide open to fostering other businesses in the community. So this whole idea of bring us your seminar idea and let's see if we can figure out how to make it work.
Figure out how to
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah.
And that's nice
Because we
there's
have built them before, but we don't want to do it. So bring
Yeah.
us your content and we'll help.
and we'll help you.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it, is knowing where our areas of expertise sometimes are. That is, let's let you stay in your zone of genius of event planning and
Yep.
and the resort, that side of it. And then bringing in those that are like, you are the expert in your field when it comes to wellness, when it comes to doing yoga or like dog training, or hint, hint, there might be something from like a neurosomatic thing coming up here
Yes.
in the future.
Yeah.
That it provides these opportunities. Or even, like I said, the WBN is hosting a meeting, being able to
Yep.
have an event that way.
Yeah. And as we're building these networks, we're also thinking. So I was approached by a client who's has some budget available and is looking for a specific area of content. And as we at the resort build relationships in the community, now I can say, oh, I have 4 people in our community I know would be subject matter experts. I can bring them in on a panel and we can facilitate this opportunity for you. So as we all build networks in Peterborough and Peterborough County, we have an opportunity to build opportunities for all of us together.
To collaborate. Because I
Yeah.
think that's the big piece of it. It's
Exactly.
connection, it's collaboration, it's, oh, I know. And that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
It's about who do you know and connecting. Because it's like, I can introduce you, and then it's about the environment and
Yeah.
the energy and
Yeah.
what are you looking for? And you want waterfront dining for that romantic evening. I know a spot.
Yeah.
You want it. You have something that you're looking for, something different that's not waterfront. Great. There's another spot, but that
Yeah.
this exists.
Yeah.
I know an old boss of mine went out for, we were talking about wedding anniversaries.
Oh. Yeah.
And so it would have been a couple years ago. We were talking about just opportunities and searching and Googling and things like that. And I was like, she ended up out at Elmhirst she rented a cottage just for one night. It was easy because they had the kids, and
Yeah.
they're like, to try to find and coordinate everything. It was like I think check-in was at like 4. They did one night. They had a romantic like a dinner, and they just had a lazy breakfast, like no kids, but then was home in time to get the kids from school. So it didn't feel, we weren't packing up and traveling 4 hours
Yeah.
somewhere to go and do that. It was a quick 20 minutes. It was easy. It was manageable.
Yep. It's a getaway that's only 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
But you are away. You are very away on the lake. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And so you said cottages. So it's not like it's not a hotel room. So
we don't have any single like hotel room style. That might be something that another generation will add. And so for conferences, it's really interesting because we thought for a long time it was a barrier to get HR to agree to putting 4 people in a cottage when they had to share bathrooms or share. But it's so funny because unbeknownst to the Elmhurst, it is so on point right now because young millennials, Gen Z, they love that connectivity of I get my own private bedroom, but then we're hanging out in the living room, we're hanging out in the kitchen, we're going paddleboarding after. So the resort ended up being perfectly positioned for this next generation of workforce who don't want to go to an airport hotel and sit in an windowless airport hotel ballroom for the day. They can't. They are giving up their home office to go away for a retreat or a meeting. So the resort is perfectly positioned for that type of employee engagement.
And it gives them that space to be able to have a hotel room. Like they've got a spot to go do their
They have their own
privacy,
private bedroom.
but then you
Yeah.
get to actually have that team dynamic, that
Yeah.
team building, and getting to experience those things. I remember traveling for my previous company and even just sharing hotel rooms. We would travel and fly into Chicago or
Yeah.
head down to Michigan, and you're
Yeah.
rammed in a car and you're in a room and you're at and then it's windowless. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
not the greatest of lights. You're rammed in, you're uncomfortable, you squeeze into a restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah. You're eating
Yeah.
hotel. And now I've had great banquet meals at hotels.
I have too.
Yeah, so I'm
I
not
don't want
dissing.
to. I don't want to. I
love the Holiday Inn. Love what they do.
That's not what. That's yeah.
Yeah.
There are definitely some really high end spots.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
is just different. When
It's
you
very
said there's, you can go for a paddleboard,
Yeah.
or you can sit in a common room and watch the same show.
Yeah.
Because how many people do cooler talks and talking about reality TV that they watch? But you can actually experience that together as a group.
The connectivity that happens outside of the meeting time, the formal meeting time on the resort, is what really good managers love about it. And really smart managers, especially this next generation of managers who understand that millennial Gen Z mindset, they are building itineraries that are very aware of needs of this workforce. So they'll build an itinerary where they start relatively early and are done by 2:00, and the afternoon is free. Go hiking, go paddleboarding, go play tennis, go shoot pool in the pool hall. And then next level are the ones who take a look at our group experiences menu and say, yep, we're going to do axe throwing. Yes, I'm going to bring a yoga instructor out. Yes, we're going to do a cooking class or a cocktail lab. Like, they're doing all the things because they know that the connectivity that happens in that more informal play setting is just as valuable as the content they're delivering during the formal meeting. And that's what makes the resorts so different, is that you have that play engagement in addition to the content engagement.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very cool. It's very fun to sell, and it's right on point in this market right now.
Yeah. And I'm watching your body light up as you're talking about this, because I'm like, it is a shift in perspective.
Yeah.
And what you get out of that from your staff, just as a former leader, that sparks that. They're looking at it from a holistic perspective instead of just a corporate, we're here to talk about this. It incorporates the fun.
Our budget, our sales numbers, your goals, our target, our new product, all that stuff has to get done. But you also have to keep in mind that the audience is now, in bulk, a lot of the times, a remote workforce. So they're at home. So getting them to engage together, first of all, you have to offer them something special. They're not going to leave their house to go to the airport. Like, they're not. So this is the prize. If you come and we're going to do this learning together, and then we're going to do all these cool things together. That's motivating to leave the cushy comfort of your office. Oh, I get to go paddleboarding and axe throwing? Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Can we all do this?
Yeah. But it is a shift that I still run into barriers with HR. That's a shift. Like, the shared accommodation is definitely a little speed bump for older managers or old school HR departments or large corporate who have all these privacy policies and stuff. It is a speed bump, but the managers that get it, who have the right size team, like, our sweet spot for those level of conferences is going to be in that 30 to 80. So it's not all, and it's not all group. And we recognize it's not going to fit for every group, but for the groups that it fits for, it works 100%.
It works really well.
Yeah.
And I think too, the nice thing, that's great for some that are coming out of town. And my head goes, those that are local that want to do these types of events, that they're like, yep, we want to coordinate it. We want to come and we want to do the paddleboard, and we want to have all the meetings, and we want to do the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a large group in Peterborough. You can 20 minutes, they can
We have groups
those
in
or
Peter.
have choice to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember some of that was, okay, here's what it is, and here are your options. As a
Yeah.
former HR manager, I
Yeah.
would be like, here's the policy, here are the additional sign-offs that you have to do,
Yeah.
or here are, if you want your own room, all of those kinds
Yeah.
of things are able to be adapted versus as rigid. So
Yeah.
I love hearing that you've got a lot that are like, yes, this is perfect for
Yeah.
us. And then being able to explore why, what is that reasoning behind it?
Yeah.
Because as you said, the workforce is shifting.
It's different. Yeah.
And I would anticipate, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your resorts and what you offer right now really bridges the different generations of workers that we have,
Yeah.
because there is a large cross section that are looking for different things,
Yeah.
and we're getting into burnout. It's an absolute epidemic
Yeah.
in this environment, but something like this kind of sounds like it gives a flexibility and options to kind of.
Absolutely. And we're very focused. Greg Elmhirst made a big investment over the last couple of years in coming into AODA compliance in 2025. So accommodation, not just of physical disabilities, like we did install a accessible lift to access all 3 floors of our main building, to fully accessible cottages like wheelchair accessibles, as well as additional cottages that are good for anybody with mobility issues. And all of the renovations moving forward have a lens of accessibility on them. So as each cottage, the resort renovates 2 or 3 cottages every winter so that they're always up to date. So the oldest renovation on the property will be 10 years old.
Okay.
And as they do those, a whole lens of accessibility for various accessibility needs. But keep in mind, we have 6 pet-friendly cottages. So support animals. Service animals are welcome in any cottage, but support animals, also 6 cottages where you can bring your emotional support animal. And then also for privacy issues, for anxiety or any issues like that, we can accommodate within your group the diversity of needs within your group. So we have bedrooms that have an ensuite bathroom. So for when you have somebody who has, oh, I really can't, fine, we have a solution for you. And then the dietary. We have on-site chefs. So every possible dietary, we presented an entirely halal event at the resort. We have presented kosher at the resort. So all of it is possible when you're working with the team that we have at the resort. And that is on every manager's mind now. That level of diversity we can manage at the resort.
Yeah, equity, inclusion.
Yep.
It sounds the possibilities are absolutely limitless.
Yeah. We're rainbow certified. So we are platinum certified for sustainability 2030. The sustainability metrics that we have to meet to get that certification are incredibly high. It's very hard to get in Canada, but that's been a huge investment also on the part of the Elmhirst family, is achieving that level of sustainability. And that's important to event planners too now. Are you sustainable? What is our impact of having an event at your resort? And so we've been working to create that sustainability lens on the resort as well. Just really smart people in the family bringing really smart ideas forward at the resort. And
Hiring really smart, heartfelt people on the resort.
It's just a pleasure to be working with a company and a management team that engaged in their business. Like nothing is taken for granted. Everything is a forethought. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing. I feel very blessed. And I live on the.
So nice. It sounds like, I'm like, oh, this sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Maybe if this neurosomatic coaching doesn't work.
I can see that fitting within our wellness initiative, though, for sure. for sure.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's exciting to hear more about it. The spaces. Yeah, my head is already, that's why I'm pausing. I'm like, oh, my head is turning to all of the different options and things like that that are out there. Coming up to holiday season,
Yeah,
is there anything that is going on out there that,
yeah,
as we're coming up to the
yeah,
holidays or maybe past, because you might be watching this later on down the road, but
yeah,
big seasonal events that you guys have?
yeah. We do. We really have a soft spot for doing Christmas parties for local
Okay.
companies. So we have a lot of them already booked, but there are still some places. Unfortunately, Christmas dinner is sold out.
Wow.
I believe there is still a few spots for our New Year's Eve event, which is a wonderful 4-course wine paired dinner, complete with fireworks and a dance after. And I do think there are some spots on that, but those tickets go fast.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
imagine, especially with the quality of the food and that time
Yeah.
of year. And
Yeah. Other initiative, which I love, which I had an extreme pleasure of working with Greg, who is a wine connoisseur. We recently launched the North Shore Wine Society, and that is intentionally local. So you can go to the website, you can join
oh,
the North Shore. Are we?
it just said bye. And if you have a feeling, my either that's recording or my phone died. Maybe it's just my watch. No, we're still recording, so I'll just cut that part
Is it
out.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Can
still
edit?
good. We're
Yeah.
still good. So North Shore,
The
sorry.
North Shore Wine Society is a new initiative we just launched this year, and it is designed for our local community. And you sign up on the website, you join the North Shore Wine Society. It's free, there's no charge. We produce 4 newsletters a year and 4 events a year. And you have to be a member of the society to buy a ticket to the event.
Okay.
So the membership is free. If you want to attend one of the events, you would pay for that. And the newsletter is focused on Ontario viticulture, so our wine in Ontario and our food in Ontario. So there one of our chefs will write a piece on food of the season, ingredients of the season. We'll feature local producers. So if we wrote about strawberries, we would show you 4 local strawberry farms that you could go to. And the
Okay.
chef would write about the piece was about a great piece about the history of the strawberry social in Ontario. And it connected Indigenous culture with immigrant culture. And it was just stuff like that. And then Greg does a piece, he writes a column on wine knowledge, like learning about wines, how to taste wine, how wines are made, how to choose a wine. So he has a regular column in it. We also feature our sommelier, Leah Spooner, will do a wine review. And we will also feature a local vineyard. So we'll write a profile on a vineyard and what it's like to go there and visit and what you can do there. And then the dinners are themed dinners. We just hosted our November dinner, which was called the Hunter Dinner.
Okay.
And Chef Amber Bissonnette prepared and curated the menu and served the dinner. And Leah Spooner, our sommelier, chose the paired wines that went with it. And we had quail, we had venison, we had trout, we had pumpkin pie for dessert.
I think I need to get on this.
You need to get on this
I
mailing
need to get
list.
in on this mailing list. I'm chuckling because I'm headed to there's a Chamber of Commerce in Port Hope and Coburg, and
Oh,
they do something called Women Wisdom in Wine.
nice.
And the end of this month, they're doing a wine pairing, and they're having something
Yep.
smaller, and I'm sharing information about one of the wines that we'll be doing. But I'm like, oh, this sounds like a great girls' night, maybe date night.
Yep.
On my house.
Our next event is in March, and it is
Okay.
called Cozy by the Fire, and it will be a tapas style menu. We'll have the big fireplace going. It'll be small servings of lots of little things served with wine, like a true winter dinner. And then our last event for this season will be in May, and it is date night.
See?
It is on the Friday before Mother's Day for all of those women who either aren't mothers or are going to have to spend Sunday taking care of their mom, we want them to go out on Friday night, Mother's Day, on date. That's their Mother's Day gift.
So you've heard that. For any of you out there, how do they get registered? I'll put it in the link in the YouTube as well, but
on elmhirst.ca, just go to dining, choose the wine cellar, and right there is a link to sign up for the wine club.
okay.
And then you'll get on the email list.
Get on the email list. So
On
you
the
can get
Evite list.
Evite list so that you can get in there and get.
It is for members only, and
Yeah.
we do make the tickets available to members first. So
It sounds incredible.
oh, it's fun.
It sounds like an incredible event.
It's really fun. And I love the newsletter. It's one of my favorite things that just the content is so different from your typical like food and drink. We're not giving recipes. We're talking about food history. We're talking about local producers. And again, that's all designed to highlight our local area.
Local community.
Yeah.
It's being able to give back, or when you're saying farm to table, but it's not just your own farm. It sounds like you're exploring everything around you. So
in the last issue, when we did the hunter dinner, we said, here's where you can get venison and game birds. You can get them at Primal Cuts. You can get them at this great butcher shop in Port Hope. You can get them at this quail farm just down the road from us.
Yeah.
That's the idea behind it, is highlighting the not only the wines from Ontario, but also the agriculture and the producers from Ontario.
Yeah, no, it sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm excited to check this out. They may be snippets while I'm there or not, because I might be just enjoying myself too much and have to post about it afterwards.
There you go. We'd love to have you. Let me know if you want to come. I'll sign you up.
I will do. I'll be going online and registering for the newsletter and trying to coordinate that there.
Perfect.
Any other big things going on this upcoming season, or anything you want to share that you're like, yeah,
I feel like I've talked a lot, but again, I'm totally open to ideas from the community and really interested in learning more about the businesses in our community that can be included in what we're doing at the resort. Always happy to look for new suppliers as well. I'm a person who is happy to make connections to the right person at the resort. If you think you can supply a service or goods to the resort, I'm happy to facilitate those connections, because that's part of what the WBN and doing things like this is about, is that networking. Yes, I am selling something, but we are also a purchaser. Yeah. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about the resort.
I think too, it's also that we're part of the community that supports the community, right?
Yeah.
So it's the people behind the scenes. Like, for me, that's it. If I'm going to be picking a spot where I'm going to go and spend the night, you can pick. There's a whole variety of things like that are out there. But when you know that you're going and you're being taken care of, and that you're giving back, and that there's this cycle of continuing to give back into that community, the space that you can trust. There's a face that you're gonna know. You're gonna see Alison sometime, depending on when you're there.
And I don't make the decision for a lot of our suppliers, but I am happy to facilitate, and the resort is very open to that. We want to do business with local businesses. So that's another reason for having these conversations, is to say, hey, if you've got a product or a service that you think we could use at the resort, absolutely, we are open to doing business with local suppliers as well.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I always forget that part. Yeah, we buy stuff too, don't forget. We buy a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you would when you're doing things in and out, right?
Yeah.
Or when you're doing the construction, you're doing maintenance, and you and it really is, it's almost like its own little town.
It is. It's landscaping, it's construction, it's maintenance, it's food and beverage, it's linens, it's cleaning supplies. It's all of those things that it takes to operate a business on that scale.
Yay. Thank you for taking the time out to chat with me. I'm looking forward to actually spending some more time. And then next time, maybe asking you a little bit about those experiences in New York as a journalist in Toronto, and hearing more about you as an individual too, behind the scenes. And I loved hearing that you really found your spot, and that even though Peterborough wasn't where you were born and raised, it sounds like it's become home.
It feels like home. It always has felt this is where I came when I came to home. So it's always felt that way. And I feel really grateful to have spent this last few years with my parents and have an opportunity to have a great job, because sometimes when you come from the big city and corporate, you're thinking, what am I going to do in Peterborough? I feel so incredibly fortunate to have found this role and to be completely fulfilled in this role, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to get a Joe job or whatever when I came here. So to have an opportunity to contribute to an organization, Elmhirst Resort, is really gratifying. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And I love that. Yeah, it is home. It is one of those places. You can travel all over the world
Yeah. Yeah.
to see all the other kinds of great things. And sometimes I think when we are here, I left for 20, but coming back, you have a different lens, a different
Yeah.
perspective
Oh, you can really
about
value what's here.
what's here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people sometimes forget how good Peterborough is, what a good community it is, what a great business community, what a caring, giving community it is. And you forget that when you spend your whole life here. You see the things that are changing and you see the negative, but coming from the outside back, it's wow, it's a special community and a special place.
And there's so many opportunities still for that much more growth and to explore the innovations and where we can go. And we have forward thinkers, we have visionaries that are creating a space that becomes a tourist destination that kind of explores and adjusts and adapts and changes as our economy changes, as our population, as our workforce generation changes. It's amazing to hear that there are more businesses out there and that we can get that out for people to say, there are incredible careers within Peterborough.
There are.
We are a destination for people to come.
Yeah. And with the focus on Canadians staying in Canada, there's a real opportunity. And look at the investments that we've made in Peterborough. Like the Canoe Museum made the New York Times. This is a blossoming, the tourist sector in Peterborough and Peterborough County, and they're looking at them separately, but still they benefit from each other, is really imminent. Like we have a real opportunity to become like a Prince Edward County without the wine, but because we have history here, we have agriculture here, we have farm to table, we have an incredible restaurant reputation in Peterborough. So we do have a really big opportunity to present Peterborough and Peterborough County, represent ourselves to other Canadians. And that's an exciting time in the area.
It is very much so. Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait to see more and hear more about it.
I'm excited to be part of it and looking forward to the next, let me see, how long till? 7 years.
And really, who knows in 7 years? She may love it so much, she may just keep going. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, Kat, such a pleasure. Thank you so much for hosting me. I really appreciate it.
Looking forward to having you back.